All right, Shalom boys here, and welcome to the Covenant. Well, here on the land, and I moved the animals to the back of the property, and as you see, I have goats, which two of them are pregnant. I just now slaughtered two other goats, um, and they're doing quite nicely. This one, she's pregnant, and she's pregnant, and I bought them uh, as babies, and now they're all grown up now, and they're just doing a darn good job. And then, as y'all know, as a shepherd, I also tend to sheep. And in addition to those animals, I have chickens. And the best way, in my opinion, because in this day and age, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but everybody's not entitled to their own facts. I believe that in addition to gardening, you also need some form of livestock. You need some uh, form of meat, unless you're a vegan or you are a vegetarian. You're going to need some good pasture in order to raise some animals, because let me tell you, it is nothing like uh, enjoying a good goat roti or curry goat, or going about uh, putting it on that black stone and having some rack of lamb, a leg of lamb, or some chickens. And this is where self-sufficiency really lies, because there's a lot of people that's doing backyard gardening, and I think that it's a great idea. First and foremost, I know a lot of backyard gardeners. I talk to a lot of them, and they're doing a great job, with the raised beds and everything. Uh, but we definitely need to understand the importance of uh, making sure that you can raise your own livestock. In addition to raising your own livestock, being able to hunt. So you have that variety. So, the staples here on our homestead is venison over beef. Now, you can, and I do have the ability to raise a cow on the land, but I've just chosen not to because of the size of that animal, in addition to the maintenance and care. So I do have enough space to have at least one cow, and really that's all you need, especially with a family. Go ahead and go in with a cow, and then butcher it, and split the expenses as well as the harvest. But I've just decided to go as my main staples: chicken, goats, sheep, and venison. Uh, and as well, you can fish. You can put a pond in. Unfortunately, and goes back to homesteading, because of the soil, and the ground beneath the layer of soil is clay, and it's not conducive to holding water. So the only way, because when I first moved here, I was looking into putting a pond right there. And a small pond, you can get 50, 100 fish, I'm saying, up in there, that size. But when the guy came out and did the review of the soil and the ground, he was like, "No, you're not going to be able to hold a natural pond here. You're going to have to put a pond liner, and then there's all sorts of challenges with that." So I decided not to do it. But however, you can have a good diversity of meats on your homestead, provided that you can get these animals and learning how to raise these animals. Now, this is not something that you go and you buy a whole bunch of animals and then you put them on the land. I would recommend, with anything, you start off small. See, the flock that you see here started off with about five, or no, three females and one male. That's how I started off my flock, and then I grew it from there, because it allowed me to learn the animals as I go, make the mistakes that I need to make, and just learn how to be a shepherd. It's not something that I just learned overnight. It was through trial and error, because there wasn't many shepherds in Israel. And I mean, I'm talking about those who had experience tending to the sheep that I had access to at the time. I think there's only probably at the time one community that I know of that had goats, sheep, um, chickens. They had they had the full spread of anything. Uh, but it's important to go about learning this thing as time goes by. And as you see here, you know, I purchased these goats from a local producer and built a relationship with them. We're pretty cool with them now. And, I know where the animals came from. And they are pregnant now. We're about to get our uh, goat milker out so we can milk us some goats because as we see whether it's eggs or the price of milk or the condition of the milk, and we try and buy organic wherever we can when it comes to the things that we do purchase. But it's very important to understand that this stuff takes time. It's not something where you just get on a piece of land and you've arrived. No, it takes years to learn how to raise and grow a garden. It takes years to learn how to hunt um, and store and going through it by yourself, especially if you don't have or you can't plug into those who have that knowledge and is willing to teach you. But this is why I always say again, and this is what I did personally, is that before I decided to move on a piece of land, what I did was went ahead and spent some time on some other homesteads and communities to learn how they went about doing things, so that when I got on the land, I could learn how to do these things myself. And so this is what we have here today. But yeah, it's just a beautiful spring day. Just going ahead and just checking out the flock. But you can raise pretty much anything that you want on some acreage. And we recommended a minimum of 5 acres of land. But if you're into rabbits, I'm not into rabbits. If you're into pigs, again, I'm not into pigs. But if you're into those kind of things, go ahead and raise them. At least you're raising them yourself, and you don't have to worry about the supply chains that are clearly breaking down, and that's going to cause some serious problems. But as you see, it's just a beautiful thing. But yeah, get yourself some livestock, invest the time and energy into learning how to raise that livestock and harvest from that livestock so you don't have to be dependent on this system. All right, shalom.